Good morning, world. I am Judy, your web-based therapist, making therapy accessible and convenient for our clients in Florida and New York, and of course, sharing information worldwide. Today, I want to talk about 5 tips that we need to remember when handling microaggressions. I've talked about microaggressions before. It's those little hidden jabs, that little thing that people do where they throw it at you, but they kind of do it in a covert way or in a underhanded way that sometimes make us wonder, wait, did that happen? Is this just in my head? So today we're going to talk about 5 things that we need to remember when handling microaggressions. But before I get into that, I want to take a quick moment and say, if you are subscribed, thank you so very much for being a part of our wonderful world. If you're not yet subscribed, please take a moment and click the subscribe button below so that you can become a part of this wonderful world of ours. And remember to tick the bell so that you are notified when I post new videos so you don't miss anything. And of course, if you'd like to purchase 1 or 3 of my books, there's also a link below that will take you to a site that shows you all your different options of places where you can get 1 or 3 of my books. Okay, let's get back to it. Microaggressions, as I said, are those little hidden jabs, those things that people do where they it's almost like I'm going to insult you or I'm going to do something offensive to you, but I'm going to do it in such an underhanded way that hopefully you will not notice that I'm being underhanded and that I'm being insulting. And I'll just say something bad to you without coming out and saying it. And a lot of times we endure those, we face those, we see those, but we're not exactly sure how to handle them. And so again, because they are usually done in a covert or underhanded type of way, it can make it a little bit more difficult to address them. I shared a video talking about addressing them before, but today we're going to share a few more things. The first thing you need to do to handle microaggressions, have a calming technique. Because when these things happen, they do tend to upset us. And sometimes they make you want to just snatch somebody. But you should not go snatching people, especially not at work in a lot of these places where we do experience microaggressions. You need to have a calming technique because that's going to help you get back down, do a quick processing of the situation so that you can address it and respond to it in a calm, after you've had a chance to think about it and make an adult decision and handle it in an adult way, instead of just the emotional response, the emotional reaction that we probably could have, because some of these things are very infuriating. They're hurtful. They piss you off. I mean, some things like microaggressions can be things like someone deciding, yeah, your name is too hard to say, so I'm not gonna say it. I'm just gonna call you whatever. No. They can piss you off and you have a right to say, no, my name is not whatever it is that you choose to make it. It is that. But sometimes, again, having a calming technique allows you to breathe 1, 2, 3. No, that's not my name. Rather than, all those other things that we could say or do. 2, use written communication. Written communication gives us an opportunity to think about what we're saying, say it in the most effective way, as well as it gives us an opportunity to have a track record of a situation. People who use microaggressions, they are the quickest to go cry to somebody that, hey, she said something that hurt me. She offended me. She yelled at me. She embarrassed me in front of the company. You've been calling her the wrong name on purpose since she got here. But they will do things that are hurtful to you. And then in the end, you end up being the aggressor instead of the victim that they are playing. And now you're being asked to go apologize. Use written communication because that way you are able to say exactly what you want, what you need to say. And you have a record that says, oh, no, you did not insult them. You did not say something out of place. This is exactly what you said. There's a record of it. And it also creates a record of the transgressions. So if every time this person is engaging in whatever that behavior is, you make a written report, you address it in writing, then there is a record of, hey, this has been going on for the past 6 months that you've been asking this person not to do X, Y, Z to you. So when it escalates into an issue, then you're covered. You have documentation. So written communication. And then the other thing it does, you can write an email. The most polite email that you can write to say, dear whomever the person is, this is what's going on. This is what's happening. Please do X, Y, Z. And then you can save that email, read it later to make sure that you have said everything you need to say without stepping out, without doing anything that's going to make, come back and make you the aggressor. That the most politically correct email that you can write. So that's another reason I like using written communication. 3, use I statements. Feelings are not debatable. It does not matter what your intention was when you called me, hey, you, or when you decided to call me this girl or the black girl, the white girl, the girl, or whatever it is, whatever these little jabs that they make that we don't like, that they know that we don't like it. They know that it's offensive. They know that they wouldn't do it to other people, but for whatever reason, they felt that, hey, they could do it to you. Use I statements. When it's one thing to tell the person, I do not like being called girl. I am a woman. I am grown. I have a name. Please refer to me by my name. It's one thing to say that versus, he's always calling me something. When you don't use I statements, it gives the person the opportunity to tell you, well, I didn't mean nothing by it. I wasn't trying to be offensive. I know you weren't trying to be offensive, but I am telling you that I was offended. Using I statements, you take ownership of how you received what was done. It doesn't matter what their intention was. It matters what you received. If the statement made you feel uncomfortable, if the statement made you feel a certain way, made you feel disrespected, that was what you received. So use I statements. Take ownership and speak to the feeling, speak to how you're receiving it, because how you're receiving it is not up for debate. It doesn't matter what the intention was. This is what I got. 4, be aware of sideliners, well-intentioned or not. Sideliners are those people who will try to convince you, nah, maybe you shouldn't go to HR and be, you don't want to be the black girl that always makes everything about race. You don't want to be that woman who makes everything about, make everything a sex thing, make everything sexist, or make everything a race thing. And a lot of times they tell you this because their intention is good. They think that they're protecting you from becoming labeled as whatever. But they don't realize that they are telling you, asking you, or insisting that you, hey, keep taking this abuse from this person. Don't say anything. Be aware of sideliners. And sometimes the sideliners are not well-intentioned. It's because you go and you tell your supervisor, hey, this person has been offending me, has been doing X, Y, Z. And they tell you, well, you know what? You and John should handle this issue personally. No, I'm coming to you as my supervisor. I'm coming to you as John's supervisor and making an official request that this issue be addressed. So they tell you, they try to push you away from making an official record so that it's not, on the record that this is happening. But yeah, make it on the record. Use emails. Use official channels, because when you use official channels, there is less room for backpedaling. There is less room for people to pretend that, hey, we didn't know this was happening. It's not your responsibility to cover somebody who's failing to maintain the, basic levels of professionalism, who's failing to be respectful, who's failing to engage in basic human interaction and just do what needs to be done. It's not your responsibility. So be aware or beware of the sideliners, because a lot of the sidelining, them pushing you or keep encouraging you or discouraging you from speaking up or saying what you need to say is usually not in your best interest. It's what they think you need to do because, that's what they would do. No, it's not. They would probably be calling the president and CCing the world and saying, hey, they're doing this to me. People who use microaggressions, that's kind of how they are. Finally, debrief with your outlets. Microaggressions really do take a toll on us. Having to go through your whole day at work, having to go through hours of an event and dealing with these people and having to smile sometimes while they are offending you, while they're doing certain things, and having to hold it in when you know what you would like to do to this person. That can take a toll on you. So take the time and debrief with your outlets. Yeah, you know how they say, don't let them see you cry? Not that there's anything wrong with having emotions, not that there's anything wrong with experiencing certain emotions, but yeah, it's ideal that you take the time and address and debrief these things with the people in your inner circle. Let them see you cry. Let them share tools with you, because those other people, the ones who are engaging in these microaggressions, they would probably, if they saw you cry, they would probably take that as ammunition to help them, get that next jab in. But take the time and debrief with your outlets. That way you're stronger, you're in a better place, so that if you are faced with another situation, if you are faced with another incident, you've already let out enough that you have room to deal with the new situation. So make sure that after these things happen, that you're taking time to debrief, whether it's with your friends, whether it's with your therapist, whether it's that you're going to the gym with one of your buddies and just, punching it out on a punching bag or something, whatever it is that you're doing, make sure that you're taking the time to let that stress out. Okay, let's do a quick recap. 1, have a calming technique, because when these things happen, sometimes it could really irk you. And you need to make sure that you're in a calmer, that you're in a more thinker, adult place as you address them. 2, use written communications, because it gives you an opportunity to say exactly what you want and say it the way you want to. And it gives you time to think about what you're saying to make sure that is what you want to say. And it creates a track record of what's been going on, how you've addressed it. 3, use I statements on whatever the thoughts, the feeling, how you're receiving what is happening, because it's hard. People will always say, hey, that's not what I meant. I did not mean that. It doesn't matter what they meant. It matters what you heard. It matters what you received. So use I statements on the feelings, the emotions, however it is that you're receiving what is being done. Use I statements. 4, beware of sideliners. Whether or not they're well-intentioned. These are the people who try to convince you to not make a written complaint, not officially address this, or to not deal with it, because they don't think it's that bad. Maybe they don't want you to put something on record about that person. They use words like, you don't want to be that woman. You don't want to be seen as that black girl. You don't want to, let's not make everything about sexism. Let's not make everything about racism. But they're not doing it to everybody else. They're just doing it to you, right? 5, debrief with your outlets. Make sure that you have a way of letting that stress out, of letting go of that experience, because it takes a toll on you. And if you don't let some of it out, eventually you might blow up. You might, forget where you are and just snatch somebody because they asked for it. But we can't do that, especially not at work. So make sure you're debriefing so that you're in a better, stronger place to handle whatever is coming at you. As always, if you or someone you know happens to be going through something that's more than you can handle, please remember that there are professionals like myself who are available, able, and willing to help, and are even providing remote services who can assist with whatever you may have going on. So please figure out who those people are in your community so that if you need them, you can reach out and get the help that you need. And that is all we have for today. Good morning, world. Have an awesome day.